At the time of recording, a new video by Bretta35 just dropped. Bretta is a YouTube video essayist that focuses on psychologically analyzing Sonic characters, with her degree in studying psychology and just making her analyses informed by her own real-life experiences. These videos are amazing. Every single one has positively affected me in a meaningful way. As I said in my comment here on the video, nobody is making Sonic character analysis videos like you are. I don't mean this in a way to put others down, but just to highlight how unique and impactful your videos are because of how personal, in-depth, and helpful they are. I speak from personal experience on this, because each of your videos, including this one, have taught me things about myself or put things into perspective while I was deep into dealing with certain issues. Your videos have a cosmic sort of timing that align with what I'm dealing with at the time. And funny enough, Bretta has said in the past before when she's been on my live streams that a lot of the topics that she talks about in her videos are like topics that come up in her lectures at her university. And they just so happen to line up with the plans that she already had, like, hey, I want to talk about the chaotics. And then it would just so happen she would have a lecture that would cover certain topics that would be very relevant to the characters. Same thing happened with her Rouge essay, something happened with her Blaze essay, and I think with the past videos as well. So yeah, there is something, there's a cosmic force at work here when it comes to Bretta35's videos. We are very blessed with these videos. So yes, this essay is linked in the description. I highly recommend watching it. But first, I'm going to finish reading my comment here and give you a little breakdown on my thoughts on the video and how it's helping me put into perspective some things going on with my life right now. I said, I loved the section where you gave examples of how to avoid burnout and the importance of balancing intrinsic and extrinsic motivations, which is something I've recently been hit hard with in my journey as a content creator, especially when it comes to my presence in the Crossworlds community on Twitch, and my struggles of growing there compared to my friends and peers. I've recently realized I need to be more mindful about how much mental energy I put towards extrinsic and intrinsic motivation, because I've sort of been lost in the mix of them lately, and I had a mental breakdown the other night I'm still trying to recover from. I like to tell myself my primary motivation is to become successful to the point where I no longer have to rely on my family to take care of me because I can't work a real job due to my disability. That I can instead be in a position where they can benefit from my success. Specifically, I want my parents to be able to retire and get their dream home. They've lived long and hard lives, being screwed over and hardly rewarded for their efforts in just trying to do their best, even if they were misguided at times and even now. And while all of that is true, there is also a desperation I have by nature to crave attention for the things I create. I have a deep love for crafting stories in my fictional works, writing essays, and making people laugh in my live streams. I do love these things for the sake of doing them, and I would probably keep doing some of them even if my ability to share them with others were somehow inaccessible. But I also deeply enjoy sharing what I make, and I get depressed when I put things out there and they aren't recognized by many or anyone at all. So yeah, I have an odd mix of int and ext motivation that are both valid, but I definitely need to learn how to manage them better and stop comparing myself to the success of others in my space, even if I feel like I'm being screwed over despite working so hard. So yeah, I'm going through a lot right now. This is, I'm not gonna lie, this is the lowest I've felt in a long time. I had a point a couple years ago where I was like deeply depressed, just in the wake of my chronic fatigue disability coming up, falling out with a friend group that I was deeply emotionally attached to, and low-key some of those feelings are starting to resurface right now because of the things I'm going through right now. I'm comparing myself to my friends and their success in the Crossworld streaming space, and I'm afraid that I'm gonna like relapse and like lash out at them like I did with my old friend group. I don't think I am. I think I'm self-aware enough now to where I'm not going to do that, but low-key, I am kind of afraid of that. But I am much more like spiritually, mentally in tune with myself now, so I think I'll be okay. I'm not going to read the entire rest of the comment, but I am going to go over this part because I think it's an important follow-up to everything else that I've said so far. So in the video, she basically gives strategy tips for how to deal with burnout, and I want to read my breakdown on the first strategy she gave. So in her first strategy, she talks about taking a step away from the thing that is making you feel exhausted or burnt out. She also emphasizes that this can be easier said than done sometimes, depending on who you are and what your responsibilities are. But as she states in the video, and I do believe that it is possible for everyone to some extent, even if you can only do it in small bursts. I do think it's very important to try to take a step away from the things that burn you out, no matter how important they are and how much maybe others rely on you, or you rely on it for your own safety and well-being. I do believe there are moments where it's okay to take a step away from those things. So in the comment, I said, I've practiced this in the past, and it really does help to step away from the things giving me burnout. For a recent example I'm still in the midst of, I've been burnt out on not growing in the Crossworld streaming space due to not getting as many live viewers as my friends and peers, despite me streaming it almost every week since it's launched. As much as I hate to admit it, it makes me feel inferior to the others and like the audience doesn't care about me. But I changed my schedule recently to stream myself writing this past Saturday instead of the planned Crossworlds lobby stream. And although I had to end early for health reasons, I had so much fun because I got to escape from thinking about Crossworlds and that audience, and allowed myself the space to talk about one of my books without distractions. And it was actually very productive for brainstorming parts I was stuck on in the book. While the audience for writing on stream might not be as easily accessible as Crossworlds, at least to my knowledge, I just had pure intrinsic joy in streaming something I care about so much without thinking about success. So, yes, in my experience, changing up your routine, escaping from what's leading you to burnout, even if only intermittently and briefly, has positive effects. I want to end this off with saying please go support Bretta35, and I hope you enjoy her content, because I know I do. Bye!